Hello, welcome back everyone. How are you all doing today? I hope your week went well. I'm talking about last week. All right. So it's another week, market analysis and top trade setup. Okay. So we're going to be kicking off with DXY today. All right. And I want us to actually take a look at it from the weekly band. But before we actually jump to the weekly band, I want us to see what is going on the daily. So since February this year, okay, since the inauguration, as a matter of fact, since January, okay, since the inauguration of Donald Trump in, I think, January 28th, we've seen a weakness in the dollar, okay, and it's been very persistent, okay. So, something around June, July, okay, we got dollar stock right inside this range. It's been ranging around that 100.50 region, and I think something around 95.33 region. All right, so far so good. That is where we are on the dollar. All right. So moving forward, where do we see dollar? Okay, and how can we better plan ourselves on the dollar? And that is why I want to take it to the weekly band. Okay, so briefly on the weekly time frame, what are we seeing or what can we see on the dollar index? Right here on the weekly band, okay, you will notice that since 2023, November 2023, right here, dollar was ranging, but the range was quite directional, okay? It dropped heavily. I mean, let's just focus on the range, okay? We don't need to talk about all the drops and the whatever. All right, it's been ranging right here around that 107.20 and right here at 99.50, or let's just say something around that 100 region, somewhere here. And right here, you can see we have multiple resistances here, okay, and we have a couple of supports here as well. And then Donald Trump happened to the market, all right, to all of us, and then we got, for the first time in like 3 years, or so to speak, 2 years, all right, over 2 years, Donald Trump happened to the market and we got the market breaking below this particular support. And that is very significant because that simply signal a more bearish momentum on the dollar. And you can note, if you see this very well, you see that since the market broke below this particular region at 100, let's just say 100, all right, it find it very hard, okay, it's been very tough for dollar to actually rise back rise back up to move back inside this range. So, in my personal opinion, officially, I would say that we can at first just see another retest of this 95 region on the dollar, all right, so to speak. So, right now, dollar to me, I would lean quite bearish. Okay, I've been leaning slightly bullish, slightly bearish, so far so good. But considering what the kind of candle that we've seen close this past couple of weeks, all right, I'm talking about these candles. All right, we see this bullish candle, I think 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, and then this last 2 weeks, and this was last week. You can see right here we now have an official, I think it's a morning star, something like that. As a matter of fact, let me confirm right here. Morning star candlesticks, all right. So if it's no, it is an evening star candlestick. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a morning star, and we're talking about the opposite of that. So we're gonna say it is an evening star candlestick pattern, as you can see right here. So officially, and when we talk about evening star candlestick pattern, this thing that you can see right here, we're talking about a bearish candlestick pattern because it's just like the junior brother of bearish engulfing candle. You can see the similarities, right? Aside this one at the top, they most likely look the same thing, right? They most likely look the same. That's what I'm trying to say. So let me take this away right now. So back to this, you can see we have not quite evening star, but at least it looks very close to that. Okay, this is not a bearish engulfing, all right, but the last week candle that closed slightly below this particular bearish candle, bullish candle, kind of signal a better tone to the bearishness of the dollar. So in my personal opinion, we can as well just see dollar back to that 96 region right at the bottom here, even maybe below it, okay, something like that. So for now, I would say it's about time to actually get serious with the dollar. All right, it's about time to do what? To get super serious with the dollar and just watch out what is going to happen. So let's take it to the 4-hour time frame. All right, don't forget we've only focused on the bearishness, on the technical, excuse me. We've not really talked about the fundamentals. So now, finally, okay, we have a slight demand zone here. However, I'm not sure if this demand zone will actually hold the price for as long as for a very long time, because we've broken this particular trend line again. We broke it here, but the market went back up, formed a double top right here, and then we've seen it broken again last week. So I would say we can actually just see maybe a leg higher, and then dollar will just come all the way down moving forward. All right, the consumer sentiment is not looking very good in my personal opinion. But let's take a look at fundamentals very quickly. So right here on the US economic heat map, okay, on the US economic heat map, we see that dollar is slightly strong, Okay, economically it's strong, but the currency it's like on an average 50%. As you can see right here, December 1st and December 3rd, we got our PMI's data, and the manufacturing PMI did not look very good. Okay, we've got 48.2, where the market was actually anticipating for a robust in the manufacturing PMIs, but we got a slight, it's not even a slight, a whooping negative 0.8. Okay, so that was a miss. However, the service PMI is still very good because why? I mean, manufacturing is not as robust as we anticipated, but the service PMI is actually very good. And the reason being, this is December, okay? So many hands will be on deck. There will be a need for decoration. There will be a need for you to do your roof, okay, your roofing in the United States. There will be a need for you to, there will be a lot of services required, right? So probably not manufacturing kind of service, but you know, a quick fix like plumbing, all those things. So definitely when the survey is carried out, so service PMI would most definitely, the service sector in the economy would definitely get robust, and that is why we got this. By January, maybe it's going to get reduced. I don't know, but for sure, it is robust. So I mean, it is expanding, which is very good. The retail sales also came quite lower, which is quite shocking to me because this is expected. And in December, I mean, okay, we got this is for November. That's cool because in December the retail sale is more likely going to get bigger because I mean, this December, this Christmas period, everybody wants to spend money, everybody wants to buy stuff. You get the idea. So probably by the end, maybe next week or 2 weeks, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to get another retail sales, and this should be a big higher than what will be forecasted. All right. The CPI and the PPI, the last, I mean, we've not really gotten any updates, any new updates from this, but I'm very sure we have something coming next week for sure. I think the CPI coming next week after the FOMC rate decision and everything. I'm sure inflationary data will be released next week, so watch out for that. PCE also came out. It came out quite cool. All right, it came out quite cool, which is not good for the currency though, but for the economy, which is very good. All right, so we have the wage growth. I mean, the labor data. We are going to be getting something next week. I think the labor data will be coming on the 16th of this month, of December. That's what I mean by this month. So I think we should watch out for that. Okay, the 16th is when we're going to be getting the NFP, the unemployment rate, the wage growth. The full shebang. So we should watch out for that. So technically, this is not looking super cool to me. I'm gonna just put it out there. All right, this is not looking like a very super or full scale bullish momentum to me. So on euro dollar, pound dollar, I would likely be leaning bullish, but I'm not gonna be buying where they are right now. I'll be looking for some pullbacks. All right, so that's that. But when we get to the technicals, we're gonna talk about that. These are the data that got released last week. Okay, and right here, you can see what is actually the most important part is the unemployment data, the labor data that came out in Canada on Friday, and you can see what happened to Canadian dollar. I mean, it just went crazy, right? Canadian dollar just went crazy. You can see Gbpusd just flew up, USD card just tanked further, AUD card just dropped like crazy. All right, pound card dropped, Aussie card all the way to the downside. So all those things were very good. All right, so what is the plan moving forward? We're going to talk about that when we get to the technicals, but let's move to the data coming this week because we have some very interesting data this week. And we're going to be kicking off on Monday because on Monday we have little to no data, all right, on Monday. But on Tuesday, in Australia, we have the Reserve Bank of Australia cash rate and rate statement. Although the Reserve Bank of Australia is planning not to cut rates, okay, by nothing. So they're leaving everything unchanged for now, and that's more like the tone that cut across every other CB central bank in the whole G7, aside FOMC, okay, the United States Fed, okay, they are planning to cut 25 basis points. So we're gonna have to talk about that, but you should watch out for that on Wednesday. You know the time they used to come out and tell us what is what. That's around 8 p.m. on Wednesday. And back to Tuesday, we have Bank of Japan also press conference. Governor Ueda have a speech, so it's more like press conference, so to speak. And on Tuesday as well, we have the ADP and JOLTS. Okay, watch out for that. We really don't have much to work with on the ADP and JOLTS this month. All right, you can say we have forecast for the JOLTS, but we don't even know what the previous was, right? And for the ADP, we have the previous, but there is no forecast for it. So everything is looking very skamish, right? Very weird. And on Wednesday, we have Bank of Canada restatement. We have overnight rate, okay, in Canada. And they're planning not to cut rates. They're just going to like leave everything unchanged for the month of month of December, excuse me. And that now leads us to FOMC, which they plan to cut rate by 25 basis point based on this particular analysis, or let's just say the forecast that we have right here from the analyst globally, and what we also saw from the CME, the central bank forecast page. Okay, you can get that on CME. I'm very sorry. You can look out for that by yourself. All right. So moving forward, on Thursday, the the Swiss National Bank, they have their monetary policy statement and policy rate as well. They are planning to leave everything at 0%. Okay, Swiss is just having fun right now, especially Swiss dollar and Swiss yen and I think Kiwi Swiss and Pound Swiss also kind of like just chilling, which is very weird though. But anyways, that's where we're at. And then in Australia, we have unemployment change and employment rate. We have employment change and unemployment rate, excuse me. And you can see the market is forecasting a lower number for the employment change and a higher number for the unemployment, which if this actually happened to come out this way, maybe we have like maybe something like 19,000 or maybe 15,000 for the employment change. That will be bad for the Australian dollar. It's going to drop very fast, very crazy. You know how employment data, or let me just say labor data, kind of impact all these currencies. You can see what happened to CAD last week, right? It was crazy. And even unemployment rate as well came out to be like maybe 4.5 or even 4.4%. That will not be good for the Australian dollar. So just watch out for this as well on Thursday. And then on Friday, which is the end of the week, we have the GDP month to month in the United Kingdom. So watch out for that as well. And don't forget on Thursday, I think I missed this unemployment claim, the normal initial jobless claim. All right, in the United States, is coming. It's actually expected to come higher, which is not good for the dollar, by the way. If it does something like this, then that will be very bad. So again, watch out for that. So that's more like what we have this week. Is going to be very packed. If you're a day trader, you want to trade when we don't really have data, and when there's an active data, just stay away. All right, you can see we have red folders almost every hour. 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 8. All right, that's on Wednesday. On Tuesday, 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m., 10 a.m., and then we have 4 p.m. Okay, ADP is still tentative. And then on Thursday, we have 1 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 a.m. on Friday. So you want to be very careful on how you approach the market this particular week. So that said, what else haven't we talked about? Let's take a look at the top setup on Edge Finder. What can we find there? Anything looks very good. All right, so right here, let me go in and touch the major currencies. No, that's the minor. On minor currencies, all right, let's focus on the currencies alone and remove the metal, the indices, crypto, commodities, and bonds. All right, let's remove all of them. Just take Forex market alone. Right here, you notice that Euro dollar is now bullish, Kiwi dollar is bullish, Aussie dollar is bullish, right? You want to look into buying all of these. I am very much interested in NZD dollar, to be honest with you. Euro dollar, I'm also quite interested in it, but I will not be buying anytime soon, if I'm being real. All right, but Kiwi dollar, I will be looking to buy Kiwi dollar for sure. EURJPY, I'm not interested for now. All right, Aussie dollar, not interested for now. Kiwi yen, not interested for now. Euro GBP, I will not be buying this one for no reason. NZD card, not sure if I'm going to be buying. Aussie card, not sure I'm going to be buying after the Canadian dollar data that came out last week. I will not be buying this too. But you might look into Kiwi dollar and Euro dollar for a buy, right? The yen pairs, I will not be buying them now because I'm still expecting a bigger drop before I look into buying them. So maybe next week or next year for me on that. Pound card, yes, you might want to short this one. Very good. Okay, dollar Swiss, also, you might want to look into shorting this as well. Pound Swiss, possibly you might want to look into shorting this also. Pound Aussie, I'm not sure I'll be selling Pound Aussie considering the unemployment rate coming this week. Pound Kiwi, I'm not sure if I will be shorting this either, considering where the market currently is, but we're going to talk about all of that later. All right, so that is what we have on the dollar, on the major currencies and the minor currencies. So let's take a look at what we have on metals, indices, crypto, commodities, and bonds. All right, is there anything worth looking into? I think we have DAX bullish, Dow bullish, Russell bullish, copper bullish, and platinum. I'll be looking to buy Russell and maybe Dow. All right, we're talking about US 30 right here. But US 30 is already high up. It's too far. I'm already buying US 100, all right, which is Nasdaq. Okay, but I'm not sure if I will be buying Dow. Maybe I will look into DAX. DAX is also not at a very good place to buy. But Russell might look good. We're going to look into Russell later. But I would just say it's cool. All right. It's cool. So, guys, let's jump straight to the chart. I think we've talked a lot and we should just jump into the chart. So, I'm going to be starting with Aussie dollar. Kiwi dollar. I said I'll be looking to buy Kiwi dollar. So, right here, right now on Kiwi dollar, right, you can see Kiwi dollar just extended to this particular demand zone, supply zone, excuse me. And if you take a very clear look at the Kiwi dollar on the daily time frame, you will notice that we have a very bearish momentum, right? So that is a concept, or that's a structure you want to put very close to your heart. This is the weekly band of Kiwi dollar, right? So possibly on the weekly, you can see that it's a big fat range. All right, everything that is happening here on the daily, it's more like a structure that kind of completed the whole, the top, bottom kind of thing. So definitely when the market is dropping, it's going to look like a trend until we break that trend and we now see the market, as a matter of fact, just move further to the upside. So moving forward, I'm going to take this to 8-hour time frame. I'm going to share with you, I'm going to approach Kiwi dollar moving forward this week. Okay, so right here we have a very clear trend, okay, a very clear trend, and the trend line has been broken for sure. So basic black, okay, you can see that. So the plan is going to be plain and simple, in my opinion, this week on Kiwi dollar. So basic supply, let's just make it AOV basic. So I will put something like this right here, another something like an order block or something, whatever you want to call it. All right, and where is my Fibonacci? I'm gonna drag my Fibonacci somewhere around here. Let me also make it basic black, so we can put it right here. And my plan right now on DXY, I mean on Kiwi dollar, where is my aha? Now on the 8-hour time frame, you can see what's going on. Okay, we have RSI at overbought already. Okay, you can see that we have the RSI at overbought right at the top here, and you can see the momentum that actually what's it called again, this particular guy Nzdusd is actually giving us right now at the top here. It is not the best kind of momentum that you want to see. I mean, some people can even call it a kind of divergence, all right, but it is not the clearest divergence in my opinion. Let me adjust this RSI just for adjustment's sake. So I'm gonna make that 80. Let me make it 80, and this is gonna be 20. You know, that's how I like it. 80 and 20. That is how I like to use it. And we're gonna use something white. All right, and then also here we're gonna use something white. That is cool. So that is beautiful. All right, we can actually just use 70 to be honest. Let's use 70 and 20 and 30, excuse me, 70 and 30. So let's just stick to the normal. So you can see it already is at overbought. Okay, it is at overbought, and I will personally just be looking to short this one for now. Okay, if you want to take a counter trend trade, now might be your time, but I won't advise you to take it right now. Okay, you might want to take it on maybe 2-hour time frame. Okay, because there is a plan moving forward on Kiwi dollar. You know, you can see that we have a structure right here. You can see we have a clear higher highs and higher lows on Kiwi dollar, high, low, high, low, high, low, right? So at the top here, we have something we can call divergence, right? At the top here, we have a divergence. Let me actually make this make more sense to you. The reason why I'm spending much time right here on DXY, I mean on Kiwi dollar, is because it makes sense to me and something I will be looking to trade this particular week. So right at the top there, we have a divergence. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I don't just trade divergence for divergence sake. Although it is much better when you see divergence like this, just take the next candlestick pattern. Okay, and right here, I think we have a very good candlestick pattern to take. Just put your stop loss above here and just short it. Okay, back to 50% Fibonacci. That's where you want to take your profit, period. Okay, that is where you want to take your profit, because I will be buying the moment you touch 50% Fibonacci. So if you are interested if you are trying to call the top right here, now might be the time on Kiwi USD, okay, Kiwi dollar. So I'll be looking for that. If you want to be conservative about this, you can look for something like this, something break below the structure. I mean, wait for a market shift and then take a short trade on NZD dollar, right, all the way down to this particular region. Okay, basic white, yeah. So take it back to this region. That's not basic white. This is what I want to use. Good. So that will be the plan on Kiwi dollar moving forward. Okay, and then from there we look for buy all the way to the top. All right, all the way what? All the way back to what this particular trend line. Before we now know what to do with it. Don't forget this trend line is from the daily time frame, right? It's from the daily time frame. So that would be where I will be looking forward to take a short on NZD USD for a longer period of time. So now there is a two trading opportunity: a short sell, right? Then a buy, a swing buy to the upside. But personally, I'm quite bullish on NZD dollar, right? So if you want to take the short sell, for sure, you can look into that. If your trade is to look for buy opportunity, for sure, you can wait for the drop to this particular region and then you go for the buy. Okay, so that's number one on NZD dollar. It's one of my top watch and my top trade recommendation, to be honest with you. Okay, so pay close to that. Pay close attention to that. Excuse me. I'm not an English person, so you should get the idea. Aussie dollar, what should we look for on Aussie? I would just short Aussie, to be honest with you. Okay, I mean, if you take this to the daily time frame, it's bearish, right? It's a very bearish momentum, but and it's very tough to even draw a trend line for this guy. Very tough. Okay, very tough, because sometimes it's just weird. So personally, if I'm following technical analysis, I'm just gonna take a short trade on this guy. Okay, period. All right, just simple as that. Take a short trade, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. However, it is moving very close to that, because you can see on RSI right here, it's approaching oversold, overbought very fast. Okay, very, very fast. And if you take this to 8-hour time frame, if you divide the 24 hours to like 3 equal half or 3 different halves, you will see that it's retesting this particular trend line again. And you can see this massive extension all the way to the top, a massive extension with no pullback. And what you will notice on Aussie dollar is that every time there's an extension like that, a most likely going to meet is bearish momentum. Extension, drop, extension, drop, extension, drop, extension, potentially drop moving forward. Okay, this, if you look, just go back. Okay, just go back and just take a look at it. Okay, every time there's a massive extension like that, something like this without pullback, it drops. Okay, when you see extension, a market dropping to that, a massive drop like that too. Okay, you see that it just rise up again. There is actually little to no direction on Aussie dollar. It doesn't trend like that. Okay, it's a very weird currency pair. So if you want to short this, I would suggest or advise caution. All right, it's also at the extreme overbought, right, on the 8-hour time frame. You can see where it is. It is sitting at that 76 region, extreme overbought. All right, so personally, I will be looking to short this. All right, don't forget on Kiwi dollar, which is the counterpart of this particular dude. All right, we're looking for that short sale, right? So probably that's what I'll be looking for on Aussie dollar as well. Maybe a short sale or maybe just a full-blown short on Aussie dollar, but it is not yet ready. Number one thing I will be expecting from this guy is, number one, I need to see a divergence. Number two, I want to see a break and retest of structure. Okay, I want to see something like this: drop, up, all right, divergence like that, break, pull back, and then short, something like that. That's what I mean by break and retest of structure. And maybe after all of that drama, I want to see if I couldn't get if I was unable to get break and retest of structure after seeing divergence, I want to see a candlestick pattern. Okay, candlestick pattern. So period. All right, maybe something like this. Market move to the upside. Then I want to see a massive candlestick pattern right here on the 4-hour time frame or the 2-hour time frame. All right. So if you want to take this trade, look for 1 and 2 or 1 and 2. But divergence is what is non-negotiable. So that is the plan on Aussie dollar. It's not one of my top 3 setup because of the momentum. It's too extreme. All right. But at the same time, I wouldn't run away from this because if you take, I want to see something like this. All right, you can see right here we have a divergence to the top here, and the market just sell off. And you can see we have a divergence right here. The market was making higher high. This one is making a flat stop or something like a lower high, something like this. And why the market is making higher high, right? Something like this. So that is exactly why, and that's exactly what I'll be looking for on Aussie dollar moving forward. But for now, I'm just gonna sit it out, right? Just watch out. It might be something that will take like 3-4 days to play out. So watch out, right? Euro USD, the euro dollar is also in a range, in my personal opinion, since I think June 2025. Right here, you can see we've had little to no direction on the longer time frame, or let's say on a higher time frame, in my opinion. If you take a look at this on the weekly band, right, you will see that it's just a big fat range, less of direction, just much of a wick. Okay, you can see lots and lots of wick right here. Nothing is actually certain on this one. But on the long term, I would say possibly we're going to get a retest of this particular region before it drops all the way back down. Okay, so like personally, I'm leaning bullish. Since we are leaning bearish on DXY, it is just normal for us to lean bullish on Euro USD. Right. So let's start with the daily time frame on this one to see what exactly it is that we can start looking forward to on Euro dollar. So first off, Euro dollar retested this particular supply zone last week Friday. Not fully yet, okay, but it is on its way there, right? And since it retested, it's not there yet, but we have something that we can call a kind of supply right here, or let's just say resistance. Okay, it is retesting that region heavily right now, and it looks, and this is since October. I think this is a structure from the mid-October in a way. So for now, I would say that it's not clear on how to approach euro dollar. In my personal opinion, if I'm to make sense of this, I would say it's gonna be wide. Okay, it's gonna be wild, but let me just put it there. All right, you might like it. We have two setup or two play here for Euro USD. All right, so first off, we're gonna have to watch out for maybe a clear push to this particular demand, supply zone again fully before we look for short opportunity on Euro USD, or probably we just wait for what, a drop, and then we look for buy opportunity. All right, because you can just follow higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and new higher high. Right, it is right there because we have series of higher highs and a couple of higher lows as well. So that's something. But daily time frame looks weird, right? So let's take it to 8-hour time frame, just down the notch, so we can have a clearer sense of what we are looking at. Right here, you can see I have little to no divergence. Okay, I can't make sense of this, and that's another reason why I'm not really interested in this for now. Okay, I can hardly make any sense of this particular structure right here. But based on this particular demand zone here, got this move to the upside, maybe a push higher to the upside right there before we sell it off. Okay, I will be looking for divergence at the top here before I sell. So just watch out for Euro USD. But in my opinion, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not confident on it. It's not part of my top trade setup. Okay, it's not part of. It doesn't really make it to my top setup. Okay, but I just want to analyze it for you. If you love it, just wait for a push higher, right? Something like this, and then you can sell it off. Okay, so watch out very closely and pay close attention to DXY as well, because this one moves exactly, or let's just say inversely proportional to the dollar index. So you don't want to look down on dollar index when you are trading euro dollar, because they have the same mind. All right, they think together in the same pattern, the same direction. So watch out, guys. Okay, there's no point in going below 8-hour time frame. Is anything on the 4-hour time frame? I don't see anything, to be honest. All right, like I said again, possibly come down here on Euro USD, come down to this particular demand zone, and you look for buy opportunity. That's the possibilities. But anything from the top here, this supply zone, I will be looking to short it, because I see an extension without an actual pullback. There's a small pullback, but it's not enough for me. Okay, it's not enough. That's why I would consider buying first. Okay, a push back down to this demand zone, then I will look for buy right here. If I'm going to give you the particular demand zone, I'm going to give you the level. So I would say a push all the way back down to this region at 1.1580 and look for buy opportunity on Euro USD. Okay, just wait for it. It's gonna happen Monday, Tuesday, possibly, or it can even happen on Monday, and everything will just play out on Monday as well. You will look for buy. All right, the buy entry buy entry can just get executed on Monday. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, don't forget we have FOMC data on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, definitely you will get an entry on this one if you're a swing trader like myself. So that's the plan. Although if you want to trade this on 5-minute time frame, it's probably gonna be sweeter there. All right, probably gonna be sweeter, because right on 5-minute time frame, euro dollar just break. It makes a very ridiculous move. All right, it broke it, probably a liquidity sweep, but just wait for a clearer break to this particular structure, a pullback, and you sell it off. All right, back to that place. If we talk about again 1.1580. All right, so on the 5-minute time frame, there is a clear bearish momentum somewhere there. Okay, like this. So just watch out. All right, something like a drop, maybe a pullback like this, and then you sell it off, right? So again, watch out. That's an intraday setup, by the way, but I'm not going to be doing any of that. So I will just chill and watch out on the 8-hour time frame for a better entry for a short, which is going to play like this, an extension to this particular demand zone. Excuse me, again, supply zone, and I will be setting it off from there. So that is that on Euro USD. Pound dollar on the other hand. Okay, pound dollar on the other hand, I think this one is very rapidly heading there. Okay, rapidly heading to that short entry. And for now, I am watching it very closely. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, I'm seeing some divergence at the top here, but it is not clear yet. Okay, and I don't want to jump the gun. So, and I don't just trade divergence alone. I like to see a divergence that comes to demand zone or some sort of like order block region. So it will make a good sense to me, and I will be able to take a more discounted, or let's say a premium entry. You get what I'm saying? So I will look for a region. Market coming back here, giving me a very good divergence, and I'll be shorting from there. So that's my plan on pound dollar, because personally, on the weekly time frame, this looks like something that could sell off. Okay, this is weekly time frame to you, right? The market is retesting this particular, it retested this particular region, and it made a double top 1, 2. Okay, and we have an AVG here that is yet to be filled, yet to actually get retested or even get mitigated. So we have a clear AVG here on the weekly time frame again. So maybe an extension to this particular region right here can get a sweep on the 4-hour or 2-hour time frame there, and we look for short opportunity right there. So that is just my thought process on pound dollar for now. And these all have to be in line with maybe a slight dollar, a slight DXY, a slight trend, a slight strength coming back to dollar index. We might actually get that. So just watch out for pound USD. And on the 4-hour time frame, I talked about a divergence, right? So this is divergence I was talking about earlier. You can see right here we have slightly higher high, and the market kind of make a lower high right here. So that is the divergence, but nothing is still clear. I don't like this particular demand zone. I don't like it like that. All right, I don't like it like that. So if I'm going to take a counter trend trade, maybe back to this region, for me to now take a buy to the upside here, okay, because we have higher high, higher low, higher high, maybe higher low, then we buy to this region, and right here will be where I'll be selling it off, okay? So just watch out for pound dollar moving forward, okay? I want to take a counter 10, okay, I mean a counter trend trade, like a counter sell, a short sell, back to this 1.3200, all right, something like that, 3200. If you get that, yeah, that's fine. Okay, on pound dollar and look for buy opportunity to the upside. That could look good. That might look very good and clean. But overall, I would say that still be cautious with how you approach this. Nothing is super clear yet. Nothing is even very clear. I would put it that way. So just watch out. Okay, be patient, be cautious, and just do what? And just watch out. All right. So that is my take on the dollar for now, on pound USD for now. Okay. You know the long plan, you know the short plan. The short plan on pound dollar is a pullback, maybe to this region right here, or maybe probably lower to this demand zone, and we look for buy right there to the upside, or maybe an extension to this particular supply zone at the top here, around that 1.3540. All right, and I will be selling it off hard. Okay, probably back to this region. So watch out very closely on pound dollar. All right, I might even add it to my top setup. Okay, I mean, it looks good. Dollar Swiss, dollar Swiss, dollar Swiss. I don't have anything on dollar Swiss, but I wouldn't mind shorting dollar Swiss. And why is that? Okay, if you ask me why is that, I'm not sure anybody wants to know why. But if you have a reason to ask for why, I would say, come on, this is a range, right? If you take this to the 12-hour time frame, okay, I don't want to go too deep, like on the daily, but on the 12-hour time frame, the range is very clear. And last week we got a full retest of this particular supply zone. Okay, got retested. I mean, I even got a kind of a sweep on the 2-hour time frame. Got like a sweep right there. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, we got the sweep on dollar Swiss. So I mean, you can just short it, put your stop loss above the sweep, and target the bottom. Okay, it's a range, and also quite bearish. All right, quite bearish. You can see this momentum: lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, mitigated high right here that swept the previous buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. I don't really fully grasp the whole concept of whatever liquidity stuff, but I get the idea, right? So that side was swept away. So the plan is just to see if we can drop further to the downside. I will be shorting dollar Swiss per se. Personally, all I need is just another 2-hour candle that closed bearish, and I will short dollar Swiss. My stop loss is going to be above here, and I will be selling this guy all the way back down here, right? So that is my plan on dollar Swiss. I will also suggest that you have a plan on that. I mean, you look forward to it. And coming back to Edge Finder, I think dollar Swiss is one of our trade setup that kind of makes sense on the major currencies. I think it's one of the yes, right here, dollar Swiss is one of the currency pair that is quite bearish. Okay, bearish -6. So if I want to look into dollar Swiss short, okay, I kind of like the whole setup personally. So I will be shorting dollar Swiss, okay, on the 4-hour time frame though. Okay, if I get it I think there's an engulfing. No, it's not engulfing. So if I get an engulfing candle right there, okay, a candle that kind of engulf this old bullish candle on Monday, sure, I will be shorting dollar Swiss. So look into that for your own good. So moving forward to dollar CAD, I won't be touching dollar CAD because it's already too wild and crazy. Right, so that one is untouchable for me. Moving on to USDJPY. Now USDJPY is very tricky, okay, because right here we have a very strong bullish trajectory or momentum, very clear, very precise, and beautiful. Now, right at the top here, we're getting a really good bearish momentum right there as well, and you can see that the market is also at oversold, right? So this whole momentum right here is very, very tricky because we have a high here, we have a low here, we have a slight liquidity sweep right here. Okay, we have a sweep right there. Now, if we get the market to retest this region, I might short this, okay, on the back of weak DXY and a strong or a slightly strong JPY, right? So that is going to be my thought process on dollar yen for now. Okay, so I wouldn't want this particular supply zone, okay, this particular zone right here, I wouldn't want it to get taken out. Okay, any candle that closed decisively above here, I would be out of dollar yen. Okay, this is also going to be an intraday trade. Okay, more like a short-term swing trade. Let me put it that way. It's not going to be something I will sleep on for a long time. Why? Because we have so many demands on here. We have demand here, we have demand here, demand here, demand here. And this region right here, they are posing as a level people can buy from. Okay, the market can just jump from those regions right there. So shorting into all these regions will be very tricky. That's why I said it's going to be a short swing trade. Okay, and that's just going to be on dollar yen, because on the weekly band, I think it's approaching a very tricky region. All right, a very tricky region right here, almost like the all-time high. Okay, not all-time high, but a very significant high right there. So if the market approach this region, yes, I will be selling here though if I get a very good entry. But for now, I think a pullback is due, then we can get a buy to the upside. Okay, on this is going to be my swing buyers. Okay, my swing buyers on dollar yen. Okay, and that's why I will not be buying right now. I would rather look for short sell down here, then I'll be buying around that 149.17 or 0.20. Okay, that will be where I'll be buying dollar yen. 140, okay, 149, excuse me, 0.20. That will be where I'll be buying dollar yen. So guys, watch out for that. On the 12-hour time frame, I think it's this is exactly what I'm saying. Push back to this region, then we buy to the upside. Period. Okay. So dollar yen, I think I will add it to the alt watch. Okay, because it makes good sense. So we have Kiwi dollar. Don't forget the plan on Kiwi dollar. We want to see a drop and then push to the upside from there. Pound dollar as well. We want to see, also we want to see something like a drop, right? We want to see something like a drop, a slight drop right here, and then push to the upside on dollar, on pound dollar as well. Okay, something like this. All right, if you get this, yeah, this will look very good. Okay, let me take this to 4-hour time frame so it can be more clearer there. Yeah, this makes sense now. Okay, so pound dollar, excuse me. This is something I'll be looking forward to on pound dollar. A pullback, then we buy all the way to the upside. Dollar Swiss, I will just be shorting this guy. Okay, all I need on dollar Swiss is just a candlestick pattern, and I will sell the shit out of it. Apologies for the words. Okay, moving forward. And pound, no, dollar yen. Dollar yen here, we have a possibility at the top. Let me actually map out that region at the top. Okay, yeah, we're talking about this particular region right here. Okay, our plan is to target this particular top right there, but we're not going to be jumping into a buy immediately. Okay, even though we have a region right here that will be our ultimate target right here, we're not going to be jumping into that. We wait for a pullback back to probably this region, or maybe deeper to this region right here. That will be the places we'll be buying from on dollar yen. This might take a week. Might get into this trade next week or next year. Okay, so watch out. The December is still very young, but I only have like a week and a half more to trade this year, and I'll be done. Okay, a week and a half this week and half of next week. Then I will just go on the break. You will not see my video. You will not see me online. I will just chill. All right, so guys, that is where I will be dropping off today. I will see you next week when I'll be releasing. I'll be recording. I mean, during the week, definitely there will be some intraday trade setup that I do share on the major pair and gold. But for now, that's this way I'll be stopping. I promise to talk about gold, but I'm not sure if there's anything to talk about on gold. I think gold is just weird. All right, gold is weird. Gold is also retiring for the year, I guess. So for gold, maybe I'll be selling. You don't know. I don't know either. All right, but right here in this box, I think gold is very delicate to trade inside that box. Okay, gold is very delicate to trade in this box. I was buying earlier this month. This last week I was buying, and I was able to. I got tapped out right here. And what happened on Friday? To be honest with you, I still don't know what happened on Friday. All right, because I was buying here since last week. I've been buying here. What is this? What is that? I don't know what that is. Anyways, moving forward. I was buying here last week. The market actually got to this region. I was seeing around 450 pips, thereabout. It was beautiful stuff. And on Friday, the market just tanked and it got me trailed out around here. I was glad that it got me trailed around 240 pips. But again, what happened on Friday? Is this another form of CME cover up? I mean, CME gap cover? Okay, is it an LVG cover or is it just the market manipulation or whatever? I don't want to call it manipulation because the market do what the market wants to do. But right inside this box now, I think I'm just gonna take a rest on gold. All right, I will not be taking any trade moving forward right inside that box. It might happen tomorrow that the market will come back to this place and I will buy. Maybe. But for now, Edgefinder is actually very silent on gold. So I will probably just chill for now. But I don't think I will buy it. Okay. I don't think. But if you get a break below here, a pullback, maybe next year. Okay. Maybe next year. So guys, I'll see you next one. All right. But don't forget, lastly, intraday base, I will be trading inside this box on the 5-minute time frame. Don't forget that. I always do that, right? On the 5-minute time frame, I will trade it. But swing plan, nada. Okay. So guys, that is the wrap. I will see you. Have a good one. Bye for now.